How to paint a tonalistic landscape. Hey everybody, I'm Ken Brandt and I'm an artist. So in this video I'm going to show you my process and how I painted this particular landscape. It is what I refer to, or what most people refer to, as a tonalistic landscape. So it's following the style of tonalism, and it is a particular style that I really like and will be painting more in the future. So I hope you will be looking forward to that as much as I am. And if you are, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and hit the bell notification so you will always know when I've uploaded a new video. And make sure that you give this video a like if you do indeed like it. If you don't, you can give it a thumbs down even. Interaction on this video is needed either way. So whichever you prefer, I'm hoping that you prefer to like it as opposed to not. So again, I will be showing you my process. It is sped up. If you want to see this particular painting in real time, and I can narrate it real time if that's what you prefer, let me know. I will also upload that as well. So sit back and enjoy. Also, if you are interested in taking your painting to the next level, I do coaching over the phone, and that information is listed at the end of the video, along with my website www.kennethbrandt.com, where all my paintings are for sale, and you can check out any new creations that I have posted there as well. So I was trying something different this time, and there is a tonalistic artist in the UK that paints a very similar manner, and so I really liked the effects that he was getting, so I'm trying them as well, and I really enjoy doing tonalistic landscapes. It's something that I believe I'm going in that direction from this point on as far as my landscapes go. I really enjoy the moodiness of them. It was a movement, a very short movement back in the early 1900s, and it's sort of making a comeback. I would like to be a part of that comeback movement with my paintings. So here I pretty much took a large canvas board. It is the 30 by 40, so it's relatively pretty large. You can see, you know, I'm standing in front of it there while I'm painting, and I was using some relatively inexpensive brushes. I bought them at the hardware store. I didn't pay a lot for them. In fact, you can get a package of 15 of them for 10 bucks. So it really wasn't much as far as money went. You know, it was just something I felt I could just, you know, brush off as far as being too expensive. Oh yeah, that kills me. That joke kills me. So I guess you could say I almost had a brush with death on that one. Oh, really? I'm too much. So yeah, I better stop. You know, I can't handle too many more of those. You know, I might end up with a brush stroke. Oh, yeah. Oh man. So anyway, here I am painting away, and the colors that I'm using is a mixture of sap green and it's like a rose madder, which is kind of like a very deep red. So that's what I'm using for my my mixture there, and so it gives me a really dark green, and when you add any titanium white to that, it'll gray that right out. And basically I'm just you know, pulling this this idea. I got a whole bunch of reference pictures of landscapes, and I just picked elements that I really liked within those landscapes that I thought would make a really good composition, and that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just, I like the larger tree to the left, a little bit of shrubbery to the right, and so I'm just just putting in splashes of paint with this large, it's like a 4-inch, it's called a chip brush, and that's what I'm using there. So now, and then what I'm doing is I'm just taking some paper towel and I'm wiping off on the canvas there the areas that I don't want. Now this area here that I'm taking cleaning out there with the paper towel, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to make that water, or if I put some rocks in there or some boulders. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just showing you how I painted up to it's not gonna be the finished painting. It's going to be I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'll decide if I want to add more color to the sky, or some more interesting clouds, or water, or boulders, or what have you, and I will videotape that as well, so you'll get to see that. But I did want to show my process here on how I got a tonalistic looking landscape, right off the top of my head, and it was relatively easy to do. I'm talking about maybe about an hour's worth of painting here to get it to the stage that we'll be ending the video on. And so like I said, I'm using the color sap green and the rose madder, and which is a red. I guess I was ready to use it. Oh, really? Hey, you can't blame me for these jokes. I'm only hue man. Oh, get it? Hue as in, color, hue. All right. So anyway, yeah. And I'm using my paper towel on my brushes. I do switch to a 2-inch brush for some smaller, touches of shrubs and trees and whatnot in the distance. And I just use the side of the brush as opposed to the front of the brush. And that's the really nice thing about these brushes is, you can utilize the whole aspect of the brush, not just one side of it, not the flat side, but depending on how you're holding it, you can really get some really nice effects with a relatively cheap brush. So that's one of the things I really liked about this particular technique on doing these landscapes. Now I did buy some more board, and I did prep them for painting some more tonalistic landscapes in the future, and I will show you my process on how I do that, how I set up that prep that board before I actually get into a full-blown painting with it. So I'm sure people might be interested to know just how that was, so yeah, I mean, I don't want you to get bored with the painting. Oh, get it? Bored, large board. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so I was really liking the way this was coming out, as far as with the paper towel and the brushwork. Pretty much, I would just wipe down areas with my paper towel, and then I would step back and take a look at how it was looking, like the landscape. Now here you see me just whipping the canvas with my paper towel to kind of give it some effect, and that's one of the big keys, I think, in this particular type of painting. You want a lot of interest in your painting, and one of the ways to do that is you just use, you can crinkle up the paper towel and use that wadded end. It's got all kinds of little nooks and crannies on it, and then when you touch it to the wet paint, it really makes for some nice effects. In fact, you'll see here that I do it at the top of that tree, or that line of trees on the left, the big trees. I really make a really nice, I remove some of the paint, and it makes a really nice lighter area near the top where some sun or some sort of light effect is hitting the tree, and I'm going to leave that there. It really turned out nice. You know, it wasn't planned, but sometimes those make the best effects when you're not actually doing something that that you had planned to do. It's I don't want to call it an accident, because it's all just part of the process of painting. And here you can see that effect at the top of the tree there. It really made a nice look, and that will stay even in the future. I don't plan on removing that. And I really love the effect of that area to the right of the big tree, that lighter area. Now I'll probably be using some other some yellows and whatnot to brighten up some areas of grass where there is some light hitting the land. And yeah, so that's something that I'll be working on in the future as well. And so I didn't know exactly what color to make the sky, so I went right with that red, and I put it into the onto the canvas and pretty much made the whole sky that color. And it doesn't really matter what color I used for the sky at this point, because whatever I decide to do with it later and I go over the top of it, it's going to be gone. You won't even see the color. So maybe some of it, I'll leave some of it, some of that red coming through. I mean, the whole reason you put a base on there to begin with is because you do want some of that aspect of that color to come through in your finished product. So I did want some red to come through, so that's why I started with it. But I wiped a lot of it off with the rag, the paper towel, and so it's not really dark reddish color. It's very light. So if it does come through, it'll be just bits and pieces, and I think it'll really make for a nice effect on the sky. In the when I finally finish whatever I use for the color, I really like the way the before I put the red in there, how the landscape looked with that white background. Really made that green pop. You'll notice now that the red is on there, the green almost changes. It changes the whole aspect of the painting, which is fine. You're not going to know what it's going to look like until you actually get the whole canvas covered with color. So I think I'm going to go with probably a grayer tone on the sky, but I do want to put some interest in there, so I will probably be adding some clouds, some very light clouds, but again, you want to keep it that very tonalistic, moody type of atmosphere within your painting. So I think a gray will actually achieve that look that I'm going for with this. And so I do put some blue into the sky, and I do kind of purple that up a little bit. And speaking of purple, why did the purple family have to move out? Well, it turns out they were just plumb too loud. They were always violet with each other, and they were fuchsiatives of the law. Oh, the purple family. Oh, yeah. What a family. Anyway, so, yeah. So I decided to, yeah, go with a more of a violet purplish type of tone to the sky, and you'll see that I'll add that here. But basically I was just, you know, within that hour of working on this, I was just going back and forth with the brush and the paper towel, just kind of putting in the effects that I like. Now, I put the red in there. I didn't go completely up against the trees or the ground or anything. I'm actually using the paper towel to push the color into the sky and vice versa. So that way it all kind of just, you know, kind of blends into each other. One of the things of working with a tonalistic landscape is the lack of detail. it's very much, I don't want to say it's an impressionistic type painting, because it's not. The Impressionists, they were using a lot of very bright, vibrant colors to show the contrast between light and shadow. Whereas here, you're giving the impression of detail without using much detail. You're using the, like I said, the side of the paper, the side of the brush, different, you know, sides of the brush, to put in effects that give the illusion of detail. And that is just, that always amazes me whenever I do a painting like this, or see paintings like this, that, you know, the detail that you see, that your brain puts into the painting, that isn't there. I mean, you would almost swear, if you took a glance at the painting and then looked away, you'd swear, oh, there's leaves. But there's no leaves. It's just the illusion of leaves, the dancing between the shadows and the lights that give the effect of detail within the painting. And that is one of the reasons, that's one of the things that's drawing me towards this type of style of landscape. I really believe I can incorporate my style into a very tonalistic type of landscape and give it a kind of a fresh look. And so that is what I'm trying to achieve, and that's what I'm going for. Now here, what I did for the the lighter spots of the tree trunks and branches, it's actually it's a brush. Well, it's a brush handle, but instead of the bristles, it has a rubbery end like an eraser, but it's chiseled. It comes to a little bit of a point, and I can use that to scrape up along the wet paint and remove that paint and bring the white from the canvas below out, and that gives the effect of tree trunk and tree branches. And then what I did is I took the paper towel and went over the top of that to give the effect that there is some greenery, you know, growing on the outside, you know, between what you're seeing on the trunk of the tree and the meat of the leaves on the tree. So it gives that effect, that three-dimensional effect that I was looking for. And so yeah, it was relatively easy to do. I think the hardest part in all this really is when you're putting the paint on there, trying to determine if the composition's going to work. You know, and really, if it doesn't, so what? You scrape it off and you start over again. I could have put just as easily put that larger clump of trees on the right as opposed to the left. You know, it was just the decision that I had made. I wanted it on the left. Maybe the next one I'll put them, you know, the larger clump of trees on the right. In fact, I probably will. So here I am adding the bluer color, and it's mixing with the red, kind of giving that purplish tone, you know, which we already discussed. Purple, that purple family. You know, violet with each other. Oh my, yeah, that's just too punny, just too punny. Yeah. So yeah, so I put the blue in there, and it's mixing with the red, and then I go back over that with my paper towel and just kind of blend it all in together, and it's heading closer towards that gray tone that I'm looking for in the sky. But I added a little bit of titanium, but I did not add a lot. Now what I'll probably do is I'm going to probably get my my palette knife, and I'll put the white in there. You know, I'll let this dry, put the white in there, and we'll mess that, you know, move that around and kind of get a nice effect with the clouds in that. And that will be in the next video on this particular painting. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you. So I hope you enjoyed watching this process as much as I enjoyed painting it. Like I said, I was very very happy with the effect, and I believe this, for me, for landscape painting, this is kind of where I'm going to be going with it in the future. I'm going to be really concentrating more on a tonalistic type of style within my landscapes. So yeah, here I am wiping it with the paper towel, and again I'm pushing the green from the landscape, the trees and the bushes, into the reddish blue, and I'm also pushing the reddish blue into the green. So both of them are kind of mixing with there. It's a lot of soft edges, and where I will probably have some harder edges will be where I want the most contrast within my painting, the focal point of the painting, if you will. So I will be pointing that out when I show the finished painting, and how that's going to look. So yeah, here you can see I was wiping off the paint right near the horizon, because I do want a lighter effect in the sky, closer to the ground as opposed to higher up in the sky, and it really makes for a nice soft lighting effect. And yeah, it just looks good. I was pleased with the composition, and it really seems to work here. So again, thank you for watching. If you have any questions at all as to this process or any ideas, please make sure you leave them in the comment section below. I answer all the comments, and if there's anything that you want me to show you, like I said, I'm going to show you the prep of the board, the canvas board, and maybe you might be interested in seeing me mixing the paints and what medium I'm using with that. If that's the case, make sure you let me know. But until then, see you next time.